Hey everybody, so it's official, the PS4 version of Black Desert Online has finally gone to pre-order as of today. The release date's been confirmed for an official release of the 22nd of August and a head start release 48 hours earlier on the 20th of August. Now there are a couple of things that are worth noticing before we start to compare the bundles and what's included in each one of these. To start with, as long as you've ordered the Deluxe Edition or the Ultimate Edition, you will get access to the Head Start. So regardless of which one of these two bundles you buy, you'll actually get access to the 48-hour window where you can play the game before anybody who has ordered the Standard Edition. Now, when it comes to the Standard Edition, you do gain some extra items here, so it is worth noting that chances are, following the 22nd of August, there will be a cheaper version of the game available. This is something to keep in mind because I know a lot of Xbox players that ordered the Standard Edition were a little bit miffed when they found out that there was going to be a reduced package afterwards. So keep that in mind if you are looking purely for the cheapest way to play Black Desert and you're not bothered about any of the pre-release bonuses or even fussed about the head start. Now the second thing to note is the 10% discount. As long as you have your subscription, you're going to get access to the PS Plus discount of 10%. And this will also affect the pearl costs in game. So this is going to be a fantastic way of saving a little bit of money if you're planning on spending pearls. But anyway, let's take a look starting with the Black Desert Ultimate Edition and see what it is that you get for that £99. Okay, so if you're looking just to get into the game as soon as possible with the 48-hour head start, then chances are the Ultimate Edition isn't going to be for you. It is the most expensive at £100, around $100, before the 10% discount. However, there is a considerable amount of value in this package. It's worth noting that the combined cost, if you were to buy all of these items in the game with purely pearls, would be in excess of £140. However, everything on here doesn't necessarily have value. So let's take a look at some of the key points. The 90 days value pack. This is essentially the Black Desert subscription. Although the game is buy to play, there is also a pseudo subscription. This is going to reduce the tax that you pay on your central market sales. It's going to increase your carry weight, increase your inventory, and it's going to be something that a lot of players will keep up 100% of the time. So having this for 90 days essentially buys you 3 months of what will become a recurring subscription if you choose to keep the value pack. This alone is pretty significant. However, the next two things that we have on the list, the Snow Wolf Dog and the Junaid Cat, are both pets. Now the way that pets work in Black Desert is that pets automatically loot the corpses for you. A lot of your time is spent grinding in Black Desert and killing large packs of mobs. Trust me when I say that it's just physically not feasible to manually loot these mobs. In fact, as you get to the higher grind spots and the endgame grinding spots, a lot of your income will be based off your trash per hour, and to get to the higher amount of trash drops and to ensure that you don't miss any of the expensive high value items, you're going to need higher tier pets. Now all pets start the game at tier 1, and to upgrade them you have to combine 2 or more pets together. There is RNG involved in this, and the reality is you will be spending a lot of pearls on pets. Fortunately, these can also be picked up through the central marketplace from players who have invested money in pearls and chose to sell the pets on the marketplace themselves. So there are ways around this. However, having the 2 pets to begin with is a fantastic start. It's also worth noting that during the first areas, the Balanos, the Serendi and the Calfrian regions, you won't necessarily feel the need for pets. This is because they've artificially changed the loot system so that less mobs drop loot and instead they're at a higher value. As soon as we escape that initial starting point though, the loot drops are per mob and you will definitely need pets. The next couple of things aren't necessarily that valuable, so the tier 5 horse. This is something that you can easily obtain in game. There's one that you can get from a quest at some point during the Calfian region, and the reality is that a lot of your time you're going to want to be spent running around to begin with. This is because there's a stat in the game that's tied to your breath. Breath ultimately increases your stamina and allows you to dodge more or use various sprinting skills or some attacks on different classes. So ultimately having a tier 5 horse from the very start will put you in a bad spot. The horse flute and the Calfian Charges horses gear, they are not massively huge. The horse flute is a great convenience, and the horse gear will improve your horse's stats. However, again, it's not something you're necessarily going to want from the start. Next up, we have combat, life and skill experience scrolls, 10 of each. So they're 10 50% combat, 10% life and 10% skill experience scrolls. These are great for grinding, however chances are you will get a lot of them through in-game events. I have an absolute ton of them on my Xbox characters and they're not going away anytime soon. That, coupled with the fact that PA like to throw at us the combat books, which essentially cover the utility of the scrolls for combat and skill experience and can't be stacked with the scrolls. So there is a replacement for them, and again, these get thrown at you a lot. The storage made though is incredibly useful. This is going to allow you to remotely access your closest storage and send essentially one stack of items to up to a set limit in terms of weight, but this is really convenient when it comes to grinding, and a lot of people will invest in maids from the Pearl Shop, especially as they get to the higher level zones. The next thing is the 3000 pearls. This alone is fantastic. A lot of people will use this to buy 3 more pets at the start of the game and start combining them. However, having 3000 pearls to buy whatever you want with is always a bonus. Now the last 2 things on here are the Belle Epoch wagon set. Again, this is just going to improve your wagon. It's not huge, and for the most part you're probably not going to use it. Although along with the Charger's horse gear, this will be sellable on the marketplace early on, and surprisingly enough, people will buy this. So it could be a little investment on some early silver. The signature outfit set and the weapon. This is a pretty significant one for those people that like to collect cosmetics. The reason being, this outfit set won't be available again after the pre-order. Now if this is the same as the Xbox pre-order, you will get both sets of the Shoedad armor, the original without the cape and the follow-up with the cape. These won't be purchasable again, and they aren't included in any of the other bundles. So for those people looking for a unique look, then the Ultimate version is good for you as well. It's also worth noting then that along with these armor sets, you're going to get access to an exclusive in-game title and a 3rd pet. This means that getting up to those 4 initial pets, the max slots you can have of at least tier 1 pets, is only going to cost you 1000 pearls. This is something that can easily be covered with the extra 3000 pearls you have, and in fact you could even go a little bit further and try to combine a couple to make tier 2 or above. So that's the Ultimate Bundle. It essentially gives you everything you need to get a solid start in the game. Now let's take a look at the Deluxe Edition, which is roughly half the price. Now for half the price you essentially get more than half of the content. So unfortunately the value pack to begin with drops from 90 days to 60 days. So you only get 2 months of this, but that's still a decent amount of time, and it's still going to give you a good idea of whether you want to continue playing the game or not. You do also still get one of the pets. You get the Snow Wolf Dog pet, so at least you have 1 pet. You're not going to gain any more unfortunately though, and you will have to spend your pearls to do that. You also gain a tier 3 horse. Now like I said when I covered the tier 5 horse in the Ultimate Edition, the horse isn't necessarily needed early on, and the fact that you can get a tier 5 horse from questing means that what is essentially the point in paying for a tier 3? Next up we have the Calphian Charger's horse gear set. Again, this isn't something that I rate that high. Yes, it'll let you sell something early on, potentially on the central marketplace, and get a little bit of silver, or use it for essentially the same looking horse as everybody else in the pre-start. Overall though, it's just not really that value for money. And the last thing we get in this bundle is the 2000 pearls. So that alone is probably one of the best things in here. You're looking at around £14–15 worth of value in the 2000 pearls, and again it's something that you're probably going to use on pets. Now the early purchase bonuses that you get with the Deluxe, again it's the same 10% for the PS Plus subscription and the same 48-hour early access. However, the only other addition is the 2nd pet, and that's the German Shepherd. Fortunately, this can be combined with the Wolf Dog, which means you could potentially have a tier 2 pet off the bat. That being said though, there's something to... So essentially, what you'd expect from the Ultimate Edition is the perfect start to the game. You're not going to have to add the value pack for 3 months, and you're going to have all the pets that you'll need. Now let's take a look at the Deluxe Edition. So essentially you're paying half the cost and you're still getting that 48-hour early access. For me personally, the Deluxe Edition stands out as paying for early access. The additional items that you get just aren't really that huge. Essentially what you're paying for is to be ahead of the curve and ahead of those people that have bought the standard edition or are waiting until the 22nd and are starting them. We will point out the key things in this bundle though. So the value pack again, this time it's 2 months instead of 3 months, but again it's still going to be valuable and it's still something that you're going to want to have. So overall this is still a solid pickup. One of the pets as well, the Snow Wolf dog pet. So unfortunately you're not going to gain the Junaid cat as well, but you are going to have the wolf dog, and that's going to be a fantastic start to giving you those pets and getting you started in the game. Now the next two things for me, again like I covered before, they just don't have value. So a tier 3 horse is just going to be absolutely useless. You can get a tier 5 from questing, so this is a pointless addition to the bundle. And the Charger's horse gear. So essentially for paying half the price you can have the same looking horse as everybody in the Ultimate Edition, the only difference being it's a hell of a lot slower and a lot more useless. Overall you're probably just going to sell this on the Central Marketplace and not really get much usage. The next thing though, the Pearl Box, the 2000 Pearls is one of the saving graces for this. The Pearl Box alone will put this close to the equivalent value of a standard edition plus 2000 Pearls. So having those additional pearls to pay for pets, especially at the start of the game, is probably going to be worthwhile for you. There are a couple of extra bonuses because of the early purchase bonus. So these are the additions to what would normally be in this bundle if you were to buy it after release. And for that you get the exclusive pet, the German Shepherd, and you also get an in-game title and some Aliens tier, which I didn't cover in the Ultimate Edition because they're essentially just an instant resurrection tool that prevents any experience loss. You'll get these throughout the game and chances are you'll burn through them really quickly, so they're not really worth mentioning more than that. So overall the Deluxe Edition is just an inferior bundle. If you're going to be spending £50, you might as well look to spend the extra £40 and pick up the Ultimate Edition. This is going to provide you a lot more value for money, it's going to get you a better start to the game, and it's going to put you in a fantastic position when those servers go up. However, if you are looking to jump into the head start and not necessarily shell out a lot of money for the game, then the $49.99 that you're looking to pay for the Deluxe Edition is a reasonable price point. It is worth noting though that you will very quickly spend more money than you would have spent on the Ultimate Edition if you fall in love with Black Desert and decide that you want to continue playing. Simply put, adding that extra month of value pack along with the extra pets and any extra purchases is very quickly going to tip you over that £99 that you'd be paying for the Ultimate Edition. Now the last edition is the Standard Edition, and it's essentially, you're looking at around £20 cheaper than the Deluxe. For this you gain 1 pet and 1000 pearls. There is no early access associated with the Standard Edition, and in reality if you're looking at spending that kind of money on the game anyway, picking up at least the Deluxe Edition is going to be the best value for you. If you are looking just for the cheapest option, like I said at the very start, and you're looking to just play Black Desert and see how it goes, I'd completely bypass the pre-order and look to just pick up the new edition as soon as the game releases. From experience on Xbox, this will come with no bonuses, but will be around sort of £10 to £20 price point. So it's a reasonably inexpensive way of dipping your toes into Black Desert and seeing how you feel about the game. Thankfully, there are always various events going on throughout the game that allow you to get free items, and there will be Pearl Shop discounts and bundles put together. So on the Xbox most recently, with the addition of the 5th pet slot, there's also been bundles put together for 5 pets. So there will be opportunities to add the content that you can pick up in these editions. The only thing that really stands out is the Ultimate Edition Shoedad armor. This is something that won't be purchasable, and this will be your only opportunity to pick this up. Anyway guys, that's a quick rundown, or a not so quick rundown, of the bundles and what you can expect, where the value is, and where you should be looking at trying to price these if you're thinking of buying Black Desert. Hopefully you found the video useful. As always, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all of the new content coming, especially for the PS4 release, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of my videos.